My name is Lisa Chen. I'm a transplant coordinator at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. I've been doing this job for 14 years. What that means is, when an organ becomes available, I'm the one who calls the patients on the waiting list. I'm the voice that says, "We have a heart for you," or "We found a match for your kidney." I'm often the person who gives families the best news they've ever received. But I'm also the person who has to tell someone, "I'm sorry, the organ went to another patient." I'm the one who watches people die while waiting. I'm the one who makes decisions that literally determine who lives and who dies. People think there's a computer algorithm that decides who gets an organ. There is, sort of. There's a scoring system based on medical urgency, tissue match, blood type, time on the list, geographic location. But at the end of the day, when there are two patients with similar scores, when there are impossible choices to make, humans have to decide. And that human is usually me. I thought I'd made every impossible choice. Thought I'd seen every heartbreaking situation. Thought nothing could surprise me anymore. Then I met Catherine Walsh and Marcus Rivera. It was February 14th, 2024, Valentine's Day. I remember because the hospital cafeteria had heart-shaped cookies, and the irony wasn't lost on anyone in the cardiac unit. I got the call at 6:47 a.m. A heart had become available. Donor was a 28-year-old man, motorcycle accident, brain dead, but organs viable. Family had consented to donation. I pulled up the list. 2 patients were a match, both the same blood type, both similar tissue match scores, both critically ill. Patient A, Catherine Walsh, 62 years old, retired teacher. Viral cardiomyopathy. Been on the list for 11 months. Status 1, A meaning she was in the ICU, on IV medications to keep her heart functioning, could die at any moment. Patient B, Marcus Rivera, 19 years old, college freshman. Congenital heart defect that had worsened suddenly. Been on the list for 3 months. Also status 1A, also could die at any moment. Both at Mount Sinai, both in RIQ, both waiting for the same heart. I looked at their charts, their labs, their histories. The algorithm scored them almost identically. Catherine had been waiting longer, but Marcus was younger, statistically would get more years from the transplant. This is the choice nobody talks about, the choice that keeps me awake at night. Do you give the heart to the person who's waited longer, or to the person who has more life ahead of them? I made the call. I chose Marcus, 19 years old, whole life ahead of him, full of potential. I called his room first. His mother answered, and when I told her we had a heart, she started sobbing so hard she couldn't speak. I could hear Marcus in the background asking what was wrong, and then his voice, do they have one? And more crying. Then I had to call Catherine's room. Had to tell a woman who'd been waiting almost a year that the heart was going to someone else. That she'd have to keep waiting. That there were no guarantees she'd survive long enough for the next one. Her husband answered. "This is Lisa Chen from the transplant team. May I speak with Catherine? Is it her turn?" He asked, voice full of hope. "Did you find a match?" "May I speak with Catherine, please?" He knew from my tone. "Oh, okay, hold on." Catherine came on the phone. "Hello? Mrs. Walsh, this is Lisa from the transplant team. I'm calling to let you know that a heart became available today, but after reviewing all the factors, it's been allocated to another patient." Silence, long, heavy silence. "I understand," she finally said. "Thank you for letting me know." "I'm so sorry. It's okay, really. Thank you." She hung up. I sat there feeling sick. This is the job. This is what I do. But it never gets easier. Marcus went to surgery at 10 a.m. The transplant took 6 hours. Everything went perfectly. By 8 p.m., he was in recovery, new heart beating strong, prognosis excellent. I went to check on Catherine before I left for the day. She was in her ICU bed, oxygen mask on, IV medications dripping, husband sitting beside her holding her hand. "Mrs. Walsh, I just wanted to see how you're doing." She smiled. Actually smiled. "I'm okay. Really. I'm happy for whoever got the heart. I hope they do well. You're very gracious. I'm a teacher. I've spent 40 years caring about young people. I have to believe that whoever got that heart today needed it more than me. I have to believe you made the right choice." I wanted to tell her that I'd chosen a 19-year-old over her, that I'd given his potential future priority over her present suffering. But I didn't. "We'll keep looking," I said. "We'll find you a match. I know you will. Or you won't. Either way, I've had a good life. 62 years, a career I loved. A husband I adore, 3 grown children, 5 grandchildren. If this is where my story ends, I can accept that." Her husband squeezed her hand tighter, tears in his eyes. I left feeling worse than before. The next day, Marcus was awake and alert. His mother was crying happy tears. His father was making plans for when he could go back to college. His girlfriend was sitting on the edge of his bed, holding his hand, talking about their future. He was going to live. He was going to have decades ahead of him. I'd made the right choice. 2 days later at 3:17 a.m., my phone rang. The hospital. "Lisa, it's Karen from the IQ. Catherine Walsh just coded. We got her back, but she's not stable. Dr. Morrison wants you to know she might not have much time. If another heart doesn't come through in the next 48 hours, double quotes. She didn't have to finish the sentence." I couldn't sleep after that call. Kept thinking about Catherine's smile. About her saying she'd had a good life. About how she'd been gracious even when I'd chosen someone else over her. At 7 a.m., I went to the hospital even though I wasn't on shift. Went to check on Marcus first. He was sitting up, eating breakfast, laughing at something on his phone. 19 years old, alive, thriving. Then I went to Catherine's room. She was unconscious, ventilator breathing for her, multiple 4 drips running, husband asleep in the chair beside her, still holding her hand. I stood in the doorway watching them. This woman who'd taught children for 40 years, who'd been kind even in her darkest moment, who was dying because I'd chosen someone else. That's when my phone rang. Another heart, available, match for Catherine. I felt a flood of relief so intense I had to sit down. But then I looked at the donor information, and my heart sank. The donor was Marcus Rivera, the boy I'd given a heart to 3 days ago. He'd had a massive stroke during the night. Brain bleed. Irreversible, he was brain dead. And his family, devastated, destroyed, trying to find meaning in tragedy, had chosen to donate his organs, including his heart. The heart I'd given him 3 days ago. The heart that had beaten for 72 hours in his chest. That heart was now available for Catherine. Subscribe if you want to know what happened next. Because this story has a twist that changed everything I believed about fate, choice, and whether any of us really control anything at all. Comment below. Was I wrong to give Marcus the heart? Or was this always meant to happen? Like this video if you're already questioning everything. The next part is where I have to tell Catherine's husband where the heart came from. And where I learned something about Marcus that makes this impossible situation even more heartbreaking. I stood in that hallway, phone in my hand, staring at the donor information. Marcus Rivera, 19 years old. Brain death due to cerebral hemorrhage. Organs available for donation. Heart available. Blood type match. Tissue match. Perfect for Catherine Walsh. I needed to sit down. My legs wouldn't hold me. How does this happen? How does a healthy 19-year-old with a brand new transplanted heart have a massive stroke 3 days later? I called Dr. Morrison, the cardiac surgeon. I need to understand what happened to Marcus Rivera. It's tragic. These things happen sometimes with transplant patients. He developed a blood clot. Threw it to his brain, massive stroke. We tried everything, but the damage was too extensive. He was declared brain dead at 6 a.m. this morning. Was it related to the transplant? Hard to say definitively. Could be the anti-rejection medications affected his clotting factors. Could be a pre-existing condition we didn't catch. Could be just catastrophically bad luck. Sometimes people survive terrible odds and then die from something random. Medicine isn't always logical. His family donated his organs? Yes, his mother said Marcus had talked about being a donor. After receiving a heart himself, he felt strongly that if anything happened to him, he wanted to give that gift to someone else. She's devastated, but she wanted to honor his wishes. I ended the call and just sat there. The heart I'd given Marcus 3 days ago was now going back to the person I'd originally denied. The 19-year-old who was supposed to have his whole life ahead of him was brain dead. The 62-year-old retired teacher who'd accepted her fate with grace was getting another chance. I had to tell Catherine's husband, had to get consent for the transplant. Had to explain where this heart was coming from. I walked to Catherine's ICU room. Her husband David was awake now, still holding her hand. "Mr. Walsh, I need to speak with you." He stood up immediately. Do you have news? We have a heart. It's a match for Catherine. We can do the transplant today. His face transformed. Joy, relief, hope flooding back. Oh, thank God, thank God. Mr. Walsh, there's something you need to know about the donor. Okay. The heart is from Marcus Rivera, the young man who received a transplant 3 days ago. The one who got the heart instead of Catherine. David stared at me. What? Marcus developed complications. A stroke. He was declared brain dead this morning. His family chose to donate his organs. The heart is available for Catherine. So the heart that should have been hers 3 days ago is available now? Yes, because the boy died, yes. David sat down heavily. That boy died so my wife could live? That's exactly what happened. You gave him the heart instead of Catherine. And now he's dead and the heart is available again. Mr. Walsh, I understand this is difficult. Difficult? A 19-year-old kid died. A kid who just got a transplant. Who thought he had his whole life ahead of him. And now Catherine gets his heart because he's dead. The heart was already a donor heart. Marcus received it from another donor. He lived 3 more days because of that gift. And now that heart can help Catherine. But would Marcus have had that stroke if he hadn't gotten the transplant? If the heart had gone to Catherine in the first place? I don't know. Dr. Morrison thinks it might have been the anti-rejection medications that caused the clotting issue. But there's no way to know for certain. David put his head in his hands. She's the most ethical person I've ever met. If she finds out a 19-year-old died so she could get his heart ... The heart wasn't his. It was a donor heart that he received. He was just a temporary recipient. And his family wants this. They want something good to come from this tragedy. Does Catherine have a choice? Can she refuse it? Legally, yes. But medically, she's running out of time. This might be her last chance. David was quiet for a long time. I need to think about this. We don't have much time. The heart needs to be transplanted within hours of harvest. I understand. But I need a few minutes. I left him there with his unconscious wife, trying to decide whether to accept a heart that came at the cost of a teenager's life. An hour later, David called me back to the room. I want to meet Marcus's family first. Before we decide. Mr. Walsh, that's not standard protocol. I don't care. If we're going to take this heart, I need to look his mother in the eye. I need to understand why she's doing this. I need to know this is really what they want. I made calls, pulled strings, broke some rules. At 11 a.m., I brought Marcus's mother, Teresa, to a private conference room. David met her there. I stayed in case I was needed. Teresa looked destroyed. Eyes red from crying, face pale, hands shaking. But when she saw David, she straightened up. Mr. Walsh? Mrs. Rivera, I'm so sorry about Marcus. Teresa nodded, tears starting again. Thank you. I need to ask you something, and I hope you'll forgive me for being direct. Are you sure you want to donate Marcus's heart? Particularly to my wife? The woman who didn't get it 3 days ago when Marcus did? Teresa took a shaky breath. I know the situation. The transplant coordinator explained it to me. And yes, I'm sure. Why? Because Marcus would want this. When he found out he was getting a heart, he was so grateful. So aware that someone had died to give him that chance. He said to me, Mom, if anything happens to me, if this doesn't work out, I want to donate everything. I want to give someone else what I was given. He was 19. He shouldn't have died. No, he shouldn't have, but he did. And I can either let his death be meaningless, or I can honor his wishes and help someone else. Your wife has been waiting almost a year. Marcus got 3 extra days, 3 days to tell me he loved me. 3 days to FaceTime with his girlfriend. 3 days to text his friends and thank them for their support. I got 3 days with my son that I wouldn't have had otherwise. But if Catherine had gotten the heart in the first place, then Marcus would have died 3 days earlier, and your wife would have the heart now. Either way, my son was dying. His heart defect was too severe. The transplant bought him 3 days. That's 3 more days than we would have had. David was crying now. I don't know how you're so strong. I'm not strong. I'm broken. But Marcus believed in giving life. He believed in helping others. And if his death can save your wife, then something good comes from this nightmare. Please, take the heart. Let Marcus's final gift be the one he wanted to give. David looked at me. Catherine's still unconscious? Yes, so she doesn't know where the heart is coming from? Not yet. Don't tell her. Not until after the surgery. I don't want her refusing it because she feels guilty. If the transplant works, if she survives, then we'll tell her. And we'll deal with whatever she feels. But I'm not letting my wife die because she's too ethical to accept a teenager's heart. Teresa nodded. That's the right choice. Marcus would approve. Word count, approximately 1,340 words. Subscribe for the next part. Because this story is about to get even more complicated. Comment, would you accept an organ under these circumstances? Or would the guilt be too much? Like if this story is making you think about impossible choices. The next part is where Catherine wakes up after surgery, where she learns the truth about whose heart is beating in her chest, and where something happens that none of us, not me, not David, not Teresa, saw coming. Catherine's transplant surgery started at 2 p.m. It took 8 hours. Dr. Morrison said it was one of the most technically perfect transplants he'd ever performed. By midnight, Catherine was in recovery. The heart, Marcus's heart, the donor heart that had been in Marcus's chest for 3 days, was beating strong and steady in Catherine's chest. She woke up the next morning, groggy, disoriented, but alive. David was there when she opened her eyes. Hey, sweetheart. Did I get one? Her voice was hoarse from the breathing tube. Yes. You got a heart. Surgery went perfectly. She started crying. I can't believe it. I thought I was going to die. I know. But you're going to be okay now. She recovered faster than expected. Within 3 days, she was sitting up, eating, walking short distances. The heart was functioning beautifully. No signs of rejection. Everything was textbook perfect. On day 4, she asked me the question I'd been dreading. Lisa, where did this heart come from? I know you can't tell me who the donor is, but can you tell me anything? I looked at David. He gave me a slight nod. The donor was a young man, 19 years old. He had been a transplant recipient himself just a few days before. He developed complications and didn't survive. His family chose to donate his organs. Catherine went very still. The transplant recipient who got the heart 3 days before me? Yes, Marcus Rivera, the college student. I can't confirm names, but yes. Catherine closed her eyes. Oh God, Catherine, David started. A 19-year-old boy died so I could live. A boy who just got a transplant, who thought he was going to survive. He wanted to donate, I said. His mother said he specifically talked about it. He wanted this, but he wouldn't have needed to donate if I'd gotten the heart in the first place. If the heart had come to me instead of him, he'd still be alive. You don't know that, David said. He might have died anyway. His stroke might have happened regardless, or it might have been caused by the anti-rejection drugs, or the stress of the surgery, or something that wouldn't have happened if he'd never gotten the transplant. She looked at me with tears streaming down her face. You gave him the heart because he was young, because he had more life ahead of him. And now he's dead, and I'm alive, and I'm 62 years old, and he was 19. Catherine, you can't think like that. I have his heart beating in my chest. A heart that was supposed to save him. A heart that did save him for 3 days, and now it's mine because he died. How am I supposed to live with that? I didn't have an answer. Over the next week, Catherine's physical recovery continued to be perfect. But emotionally, she was struggling. She barely ate, barely spoke. Just lay in bed staring at the ceiling. She's depressed, the psychiatrist said. Survivor's guilt. It's common in transplant recipients, but this situation is particularly complex. What can we do? She needs time. And possibly she needs to meet the donor family. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes hearing directly from them that they wanted this can ease the guilt. I asked Teresa if she'd be willing to meet Catherine. She said yes immediately. They met in Catherine's hospital room 10 days after the transplant. I stayed in case I was needed. Teresa walked in carrying a photo album. Catherine tried to sit up straighter, wiping tears from her eyes. Mrs. Rivera, I'm so sorry. Please call me Teresa. Teresa, I'm so sorry about Marcus. I'm sorry he died. I'm sorry you lost your son so I could live. Teresa sat down next to the bed. May I tell you about Marcus? Catherine nodded. Teresa opened the photo album. This is Marcus when he was 7. He was obsessed with dinosaurs. Wanted to be a paleontologist. She turned pages, sharing stories. Marcus at 10, playing soccer despite his heart condition. Marcus at 15, getting his first girlfriend. Marcus at 18, opening his college acceptance letter. This is Marcus 2 days after his transplant. He was so happy. He called me at 2 a.m. just to tell me he could feel the difference. That he could breathe deeply for the first time in years. That he felt strong. She showed Catherine a video on her phone. Marcus in his hospital bed, smiling at the camera. Hey everyone! Day 2 post-transplant, and I feel amazing. To whoever donated this heart, wherever you are, thank you. You gave me my life back. And I promise I won't waste it. Catherine was sobbing. He had 3 good days, Teresa continued. 3 days where he wasn't struggling to breathe. 3 days where he felt normal. 3 days to say goodbye to everyone he loved, even though he didn't know he was saying goodbye. And then he had the stroke, and it was fast. He didn't suffer. 1 minute he was texting his girlfriend, the next minute he was unconscious. And when the doctors told me he was brain dead, the first thing I thought of was this video. His promise not to waste the gift he'd been given. I don't understand, Catherine said. Marcus's heart was a gift to him. For 3 days. And now it's a gift from him to you. He didn't waste it. He used it to stay alive long enough to make sure someone else you could receive it. That's not a tragedy. That's beautiful. But he was so young. And you're a teacher who shaped hundreds of children's lives over 40 years. You have grandchildren who need you. You have more love to give, more time to be here. Marcus would be happy knowing his heart is beating in someone like you. Teresa pulled out a letter. Marcus wrote this 2 days after his transplant. He gave it to me and said, if anything happens, give this to whoever gets my heart next. I think he knew somehow. I think he felt it. She handed the letter to Catherine. Catherine's hands shook as she opened it. Dear future heart recipient, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it. I'm sorry you had to get your heart this way. But I want you to know something. This heart has already been a gift once. It was given to me by someone who died too young, just like I did. And for however many days or weeks or months I got to use it, I was grateful for every single beat. Now it's your turn. This heart has been through a lot. It's strong. It's a fighter. It kept me alive through some dark times, and now it's going to keep you alive too. Don't feel guilty. I don't want that. I want you to live, really live. Do the things I won't get to do. See the things I won't get to see. Love hard. Laugh often. Hug your family. Chase your dreams. Be ridiculously, embarrassingly happy to be alive. Because that's what I was for the time I had. And if this heart can give you that same feeling, that same gratitude for every breath, then everything worked out exactly how it was supposed to. Take care of our heart. It's been through a lot, but it's got plenty of beats left. With hope, Marcus. Subscribe for the final part. Because this story has one more twist. One more impossible moment that changed how Catherine saw her second chance. Comment. Could you accept an organ under these circumstances? How would you honor the donor? Like if Marcus's letter made you cry. Catherine read Marcus's letter 3 times. Then she folded it carefully, held it to her chest, and cried for an hour straight. But something shifted after that. The guilt didn't disappear, but it transformed into something else. Purpose, maybe, determination. 2 weeks after the transplant, Catherine was discharged from the hospital. Before she left, she asked to speak with me. Lisa, I need you to tell me the truth. When you chose to give the heart to Marcus instead of me, what was your reasoning? I hesitated. Mrs. Walsh, I'm not sure that's helpful too. Please. No. Not sure that's helpful too. Please. I need to know. I took a breath. The algorithm scored you both similarly. You'd been waiting longer, but Marcus was 19. Statistically, he had more years ahead of him, more potential. The utilitarian calculation favored him. I made a choice to prioritize youth and potential future over time served on the list. So you thought his life was worth more than mine? I thought he had more life to live. That's different. Is it? I didn't answer. Lisa, I don't blame you. You made the choice most people would make. Save the kid, not the old lady. But I want you to understand something. My life isn't less valuable because I'm 62. The years I have left aren't less important because there are fewer of them. I know that. I do. But when I have to choose, you have to choose based on some criteria. I understand. But your criteria prioritized quantity over quality. Youth over experience. Potential over proven value. And I want you to think about that. She pulled out a notebook. I've been a teacher for 40 years. I've taught over 2,000 students. Many of them still keep in touch. Some of them became teachers themselves. Some became doctors. Some became parents who raised their children with the values I taught them. My influence extends beyond my own life, through all those lives I touched. Mrs. Walsh. Marcus had potential. I have legacy. Both matter. Both have value. And the choice between them isn't as simple as save the young person because they have more years. Because what they do with those years, what I do with my remaining years, that's what actually matters. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm going to make sure Marcus's sacrifice means something. I'm going to live in a way that honors both the original donor and Marcus. I'm going to make these remaining years count for something. 3 months later, Catherine did something extraordinary. She started a foundation, the Marcus Rivera Heart Foundation. Its mission, to support young transplant recipients and their families with financial assistance, counseling, and educational resources. She raised money, lots of it. Within 6 months, the foundation had helped 15 families with medical bills, funeral costs, and grief counseling. But she did something else too. She went back to teaching. Not full-time, her health wouldn't allow it. But she volunteered at an after-school program in the Bronx, teaching literacy to kids who were struggling. These are the kids Marcus would have wanted to help, she told me when I visited her classroom. Kids who need someone to believe in them. Kids with potential who just need someone to invest in them. 1 year after her transplant, I got a call from Catherine. Lisa, I need you to come to something. It's important. The next week, I went to Marcus Rivera Memorial High School. It had been renamed in his honor, funded partially by Catherine's foundation. The ceremony was attended by hundreds of people. Marcus's family, Catherine's family. Students who'd been helped by the foundation. Teachers who'd been inspired by Catherine's story. Teresa spoke first. A year ago, I lost my son. It was the worst day of my life. But out of that tragedy, something beautiful emerged. Catherine has honored Marcus in a way I never could have imagined. She's turned his death into life, not just her own life, but the lives of dozens of young people who've been helped by the foundation. Marcus would be so proud. Then Catherine spoke. I'm standing here today because a 19-year-old boy died. Because a young man with his whole life ahead of him had his future cut short so I could have more time. I struggled with that. I felt guilty. I felt like I didn't deserve this gift. But then I realized something. The question isn't, did I deserve Marcus's heart? The question is, what am I going to do with it? And the answer is, everything I can. Every day I wake up with this heart beating in my chest, I remember that I'm living on borrowed time. Time that was supposed to be Marcus's, and I'm going to spend every second of that time doing what Marcus would have done, helping others, spreading kindness, making the world a little bit better. She looked directly at me. A year ago, a transplant coordinator had to make an impossible choice. She chose to give a heart to a 19-year-old boy instead of me. And you know what? She made the right choice. Marcus got 3 days. 3 days to feel healthy, to say goodbye, to prepare his family. 3 days that mattered. And then his gift got passed on to me and I got a year. Maybe I'll get 10 more years, maybe 20. I don't know. But however many years I get, they're Marcus's years. And I'm going to make them count. The crowd stood and applauded. I was crying too hard to stand. After the ceremony, Catherine pulled me aside. Lisa, I need you to stop feeling guilty about the choice you made. How did you know? Because I can see it on your face every time I see you. You think you made the wrong call. You think if you'd given me the heart first, Marcus would still be alive. Maybe he would be. Or maybe he would have died anyway. Maybe the stroke was going to happen regardless. Maybe this was always how it was meant to go. But here's what I know for sure. Marcus got 3 days. I got a year and counting. Between the two of us, we've gotten 368 days out of one heart. That's not a tragedy. That's a miracle. But he was 19, and he lived those 19 years fully. He loved, he dreamed, he made an impact. And in his final act, he gave me the chance to do the same. Stop measuring life by the number of years. Start measuring it by the depth of impact. By that metric, Marcus's 19 years were extraordinary. And I'm going to make sure my remaining years are equally extraordinary. She hugged me. Thank you for making the impossible choice. Thank you for doing a job that requires you to play God. Thank you for caring enough to feel guilty when things don't go as planned. But please, let go of the guilt. You did nothing wrong. You did your job. And look at what came from it. Today, 3 years later, Catherine is still alive. Still teaching. Still running the foundation, which has now helped over 200 families. The Marcus Rivera Heart Foundation funded scholarships for 5 students to attend medical school. 2 of them are now in transplant medicine, inspired by Marcus's story. Catherine published a book about her experience. All proceeds go to the foundation. And every year, on the anniversary of Marcus's death and Catherine's transplant, they hold a celebration of life. Not a funeral, not a mourning. A celebration of what one heart accomplished across 2 lives. I still make impossible choices. I still have to decide who gets an organ when there aren't enough to go around. I still struggle with the weight of those decisions. But now I understand something I didn't before. The choices I make don't have to be perfect. They just have to be made with care, with thoughtfulness, with the understanding that every life has value in ways I can't always see. Marcus got 3 days. Catherine got years. The heart beat for both of them. And the impact of that one organ rippled out to touch hundreds of lives. That's not a wrong choice. That's medicine. That's humanity. That's the beautiful, terrible, impossible work of trying to save lives when there's never enough time, never enough organs, never enough chances. Subscribe if this story changed how you think about organ donation. Consider becoming a donor. Consider supporting transplant patients. Comment, would you become an organ donor after hearing this story? Like if you believe one life can change hundreds of others. Share this with someone who needs to hear that even impossible choices can lead to beautiful outcomes. This is Lisa Chen, Transplant Coordinator, reminding you, every day is a gift, every heartbeat is a miracle. And every choice we make ripples out in ways we can't predict. Make your choices with love, live with purpose, and remember, you never know whose life you might save.